Hello and welcome back for another Wednesday live stream. Tonight we don't have a special guest. You're just going to have to put up with the core crew here. To my side, I've got Disembodied Voice.
Hello there.
And below me, the painter Flo. What are you working on today, Flo?
Working on some more Thousand Suns, getting done a few more of those, and then once those are done, I've got some Custodies that I was going to start working on.
Thousand Suns look really good. What kind of paint are you using on those?
I am using Monument. Well, I'm using Monument on everything but the blue. The blue is actually contrast paint.
Contrast paint? Okay, like the GW contrast paint? Or?
Yeah, GW contrast paint.
Yeah, we're talking a little bit about pre-show as to the likely future of Citadel paints and really how much of the market has been taken up with very good paint companies. People have amazing options now. And Monument, of course, being one of them. So anyway, tonight, thank you all for joining me. I know that I've been behind. I'm getting ready. We head out for Utah tomorrow to continue all the prep for Valhalla. And in the meantime, Adepticon came and went. And I kept being told that I needed to check out this keynote speech that happened, or this keynote presentation that happened while at Adepticon from Steamforged Games. And I quasi-listened to it, but I definitely didn't absorb much of it. So Voice ripped it and fixed the audio so that it's way more audible.
Sort of fixed the audio. The audio is pretty bad, so I kind of made it a little bit better.
He promised perfection. But yeah, so
we'll had a little bit of time.
The best is if you start playing it and there's no audio and it's like, perfect.
Perfect.
Exactly. So, hearing that, it's giving me hope. So I'm looking forward to talking about that a bit. If you have joined me from any of the Facebook notifications, also feel free to share your hobby progress. I like to share that at the end of the live stream, just to share what you guys are working on, since you're my wonderful community. So that is on the Facebook. I do have it on Twitter too, I guess, if you use that one. I don't know how to, I don't mess with that one as much, but anyway. Post pictures where you can, and I'll try to share them, is what I am saying. Yeah, so I don't know exactly what I'm expecting from this keynote, other than if I were to have a wish list, it would be like really kind of refixing the lore and doing away with the Infernals, but I feel like that might be more than I would get. So we'll just take it by ear and see what we get in here. Hope is the first step toward disappointment. Thank you, JP, for starting us off right. Valhalla prep is crazy right now. Dealing with U-Haul trailer shenanigans right now. Yeah, I've been there. So do we come back or not? Well, let's find out. I don't know. Warmachine was my first love, my first heartbreak in the gaming world. We'll see what things are like nowadays. Andy, great timing, because I'm also way behind on Steamforged news. That's fair. I was keeping up with it on the early part where they announced the acquisition, and for a while I would check the website of the new updates, and they were saying they were going to keep up with like the IKRPG and keep up with the app, which whatever. So And then after a while, you know, you get busy. It's hard to just kind of keep up with it. And I'm actually horrible about following social media, so it's not exactly easy. They got me with the Keynote. I bought in to jumpstart my local group who are currently suffering from enough of GW's BS stuff. Yes, it is. Yes. Yes, exactly. Okay, well, let's see here. I think my first tabletop style game was Space Crusade as a kid. Huh.
Now, well, was that sort of Space Hulk? Like one of the versions of Space Hulk sort of thing? I don't know if I'd call it Space Hulk or not.
Katie says, the keynote was impressive. Most positive I've felt since the Mark III launch. Oh my. These are setting the expectations kind of high, guys. I'm feeling nervous.
I know.
Let's see. So Warmachine wasn't technically the first war game I played. It was GW. It was 40K, like playing with little Marines. But Warmachine was the first game I like probably really played. Like I played on my own. It wasn't just someone showing it to me kind of thing. So yeah. Horrible at following social media. You mean avoiding the possibility of toxic situations? I mean, you can find those in real life too. It's not that hard.
It's really not that hard.
On the internet, it is, yeah. It's probably a lot easier. JP, I filmed an interview between Jake Krajewski and the CEO of Steamforged. It's on the Build, Paint, Play channel. Oh, well, I guess I'll have to check that out after this. That's good to know. Thanks, JP. That's interesting. Big Tej. Hey, Miranda and everyone, getting back into Warmahordes after a decade-long break. I've got high hopes for Mark IV and a revitalized local meta. Goodness, has this really been the effect? Okay. My first Warmachine was the Crick set with 2 more chickens.
All right. Those little Cricks chickens.
All right. So we are going to share screen and open up. Oh, wait. Share audio. Use the tab screen instead. Hold on. Let me see if I can get this video file in here. Keynote.
Hey, everybody.
Everyone's stopping it.
Welcome to the Warmachine Keynote.
Oh, good. I can pause it in here. Okay. Literally the first time I've loaded up a video in here.
Now, did you actually upload that, or are you just playing your player?
It's just upload. I said upload video file, and it did. It was really fast.
Nice. All right.
So that's what we're gonna do. Great audio levels. Good. Your Warmachine bat reps. That's how I found you. They were really good. I hope you find excitement with the announcements. I do too. I'm getting so nervous now because of everyone's excitement. By the way, I have noticed increased interest in Warmachine post-Keynote. I honestly feel like it's just the fireside chatting from company to community that might be opening up folks to the possibility of the game. I mean, just the feeling of a company being transparent with you and not treating you like chattel. Yeah, I could see that being nice. And I'm not even really accusing old Warmachine of doing that, but there was issues with, like, you know, which audience were they talking to, because it was such a polarized audience of hyper competitive and literally everyone else who just wanted a game they could enjoy and not have their face pounded in every time they touched a model. So, you know, we'll see what we get. All right. We're moving.
So thank you all for coming. We are streaming this live as well. Fingers crossed, everything's working. So plenty of people looking at home. A lot of people stayed up late as well, which is awesome. And we're going to take you through a pretty exciting deck. All
right, not to bitch, but who lit this?
I think maybe is he introducing a video maybe? So like it's dark?
Maybe. It's very moody. Like I feel like he's about to bust out a D&D session. Okay, it's fine.
Lots of stuff to talk about. If we go on to the next slide. I'll just introduce who we are and to get people familiar. So my name is Rich Loxham. I'm CEO and co-founder of Steamforged Games. Okay. Matt Hart, who sat there and we're talking very soon, is the CCO and co-founder as well of Steamforged. We have Jamie Perkins as well, one of our senior product owners on Warmachine, and very well known. So it's my favourite already. And we've got Sherwin Matthews, who isn't here today, but has got a nice little surprise in the
CCO is Chief Creative Officer, I believe, right? And isn't it funny that it went from one Matt to another?
presentation. Again, one of our senior product owners and very much in control of the ball. So I'm going to hand over now to my co-founder and longtime friend, is Matt.
Oh, well. There you go. I'll use your one.
Yeah.
This is all special. Thank you very much. It sounds like you guys are all warmed up, but one of the things I do like to do for my own gratification is to take a selfie with a room full of awesome people. So here we go, we're going to selfie time.
Do you understand social media?
Yeah, perfect, cool, thank you for that. Right, let's, what have we got? So we do...
What is the senior product owner? I don't know.
Senior product
Whoever
owner.
owned the product
Interesting.
longest, I don't know.
I feel like they own responsibility for it. That would be my guess.
I'm sure you all know the history of Steamforged really began with Warmachine. It's not actually that well known that Rich and I met through our shared interest in playing cricks. Rich was a pretty decent player at the time, and I was just getting into cricks, so I reached out to him, had a chat with him. We ended
So
up
the company are
forming a
cricks
friendship
lovers, huh?
From that.
I know that's not starting off terribly well, is it? Like, ooh, ooh.
I don't know.
Valhalla is soon. It is. Tomorrow we ride. It starts for us tomorrow.
Steamforged blossomed out of that. So for us to have this opportunity of picking up and acquiring this IP and really treating it as a treasure that we are custodians of is actually a really special moment. So for us to be standing here talking to you.
Okay, so I'm just seeing these three pillars here. We've got casual play, woo, hobby support, woo, which painting and the models, right? And match play, which would be the competitive area. I wonder if they're going to go through this in order. I really am curious what their take on the casual play is. Will I be playing some Warmachine? So on the Valhalla surveys, zero people said that they would be playing any Warmachine. Now I'll see if I can maybe squeeze in an army or two in the car. If anybody's interested in giving it a go, but so far I don't know that anyone's gonna be playing Warmachine at Valhalla right now. And if you meant that question in general, the answer is I don't know. Let's see at the end of this keynote speech.
You guys about all the exciting things we've got going forward is more than a little bit surreal, I'm not going to lie, but it's great. I'm not going to...
All right, not to keep pausing it because I'm sorry, but I happen to have gotten this from Steamforged, so I just want to point that out. I actually need to do an unboxing for them. They sent this to me a little while ago. It was sort of random, so it's not like I was on a time frame for it. But I am kind of curious to I want to do a deep dive on how these models are done because they're very, very fundamentally different. And there's some pros and cons to that, in my opinion. But my thought is as soon as I do a unboxing of it, I might do a giveaway for it. So anyway, keep going. Sorry, squirrel.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I agree. So one of the things that historically was associated with Warmachine was a really heavy focus on the competitive side of things. However, the miniatures that are made, the world that is there, the art that's there, it deserves much more. And if anyone's followed some of the AMAs that I've done on Reddit and certainly the communications that we've been putting out as a company, you will know that the focus for us going forward is to really give equal weighting to three core pillars, which is the casual play, the hobby, and the match play competitive. We're going to call it match play because I think that's more descriptive of what we actually want to do. So for us, it's really important to stress that those are three equally important factors to us. So the competitive play remains important, but doesn't overshadow the casual play and the hobby side of things.
Hopefully.
Well, it sounds like a good initial way of thinking about it.
So we're going to show you some of the new releases and also some of the things that are coming up. So this is the second box that we put together in a more traditional hard plastic. This is Chimera versus the Trollbloods.
Right.
Hands up who's seen this. I won't bang on too much of it. Yeah, you've all seen this, right? So one of the things that's worth just pointing out, because I've got particular pride of this, is we're doing something with this plastic kit that no one else is doing. We have developed a very special molding process with the factory that we work with, which means you don't have to drill your barrels. They are pre-drilled. The way that we actually build this means...
They were pre-drilled anyway, weren't they? I mean, any of the models that I got...
No,
like
well,
the Khador set was pre-drilled.
The 3D printed stuff would be pre-drilled, but they're doing injection molding.
Oh,
but it has a weird
molding.
Additional process that I guess pre-drills barrels, but also it's still a like a high impact polystyrene.
I mean, having it pre-drilled seems really nice. Like, I've always been too intimidated to just go magnetizing stuff on my own. It seems like a horrible nuisance, but I have actually magnetized the Khador model set that I did have, precisely because I already had the magnets, because it came with it, and it was pre-drilled. So it was sort of like, just don't get the polarization wrong and your polarity wrong, and you're good. So we'll see. Mandragora says, hey there, I saw PP were putting a lot of stuff on MMF, my mini factory, although not as a tribe. In a way, I'm happy old Warmachine is surviving. Ooh, the STL is starting to look like a last resort of a lot of companies. STLs are definitely changing the market.
I don't know if I would say they're a last resort anymore. I know for a while it was like, maybe that was, but I think, I honestly think that, I mean, obviously Games Workshop doesn't have to do anything, but every other company, I think that creating STLs for their game is going to be just commonplace for every successful and major game moving forward as well.
Yeah.
Like not all the models, but you know what I mean? Like a healthy sampling, I think.
Sure. Like giving people options.
Yeah.
Brian, I just want a physical rulebook and cards and plastic models, and I will play again. Incidentally, I actually checked out the Trench Crusade Kickstarter a while back. Like, Voice and I went over that, and every single pledge level was a physical rulebook. Every single one of them. Even though there was like, hey, 3D print your own models, or we can print them for you and send them. Total option, terrain, 3D print or not. Every single time, physical rulebook. Because it's the best. So, anyway.
I agree.
We can do negative space inside of the miniature without actually having to clamshell around it. So we really pushed in the boundaries of what can be done with this plastic right now. Credit where credit's due.
I'm curious how they do it.
We get to learn from what other people are doing, look and see how can we push this further, faster, bigger, better. And that's just a very small example of how ambitious we want to be with these plastic kits going forward.
Yeah. So actual plastic and pre-drill stuff, that's pretty good space for the community. Were you going to say something?
Well, I was going to say a thumbs up for that part.
Mm-hmm.
That is a positive announcement.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. Like actual plastic, not the resin 3D print, which inherently does just have issues at scale currently. Better quality pre-drilled stuff. That all sounds great. Yeah.
Really enjoyable is how lovely people have been about the work that we've done. Now, don't get me wrong, we do not get everything right. We try not to make the same mistake more than twice. We try to listen when we have messed up, and we try to make sure that we do the right thing the next time. And I think that what we're putting out now is the responses that we're getting and the feedback we're getting is incredibly encouraging. We love hearing it. We also love hearing feedback on what we are doing that's making you happy and also making you a little bit frustrated. So keep it coming, but more of these, please. They're really cool. I love reading these. Well, it wouldn't be a keynote without something cool.
Tricky Marax. I don't know what that name
is. So Chimera's in there.
I see Chimera.
Try Chimerax.
Chimerax.
There's the Chimera faction.
So there's like 3 of them. It looks like 3 little worms twisting around in there.
Let me talk about this a little bit. This is a model that you have to see in person. Pictures do not justify it. Come by the booth tomorrow. I'm just saying. This is the Trichimerics. Unsurprisingly, it is a colossal for the Chimera faction. It is three massive serpents intertwined, furiously scuttling across the tabletop to devour your opponents. So swing by the booth tomorrow and have a closer look at it.
Oh man, yeah, I wish you could have seen that up close. That thing is, there's a lot going on. But you can see there's the two separate snake heads or whatever, and it's like there's blue and red. So they were smart to separate that, or three heads, yeah.
Yeah, three of them. Now that's so. It was one of the things that I didn't love about the direction, and I guess Chimera is.
They were
Legion Everblight.
Yeah, it replaced Legion because I believe it was Rias who ran off and lived under a mountain and took over some old Cephalax hole and took it over.
Yeah,
that's canon.
Huh. Okay. So now I guess there's no Legion Everblight, and now it's just Chimera.
I don't know. I kind of hadn't been following it for a while, but Chimera was the Legion faction, and then they may have expanded since then.
The Trichimerics, unsurprisingly, is a colossal for the Chimera faction. It is three massive serpents intertwined, furiously scuttling across the tabletop to devour your opponents. So swing by the booth tomorrow and have a closer look at it.
Right. Tenebra.
Perfected.
Hands up who thinks Morton Ebra should be on a 50mm base.
So this is just concept art, right? That's cartoonified. I can't zoom in, so. But as far as I can tell, that is not a model, right?
Yeah, I don't think that's a model.
Yeah, I do. She is ace. So we have a print of her that's going to be in the booth tomorrow. Morton Ebra is officially announced right here, right now for...
So Tenebra was originally what? Convergence of Cirrus, and then she went to Crix because Convergence were dicks and wouldn't let her do stuff, right? I believe that
wouldn't let her do evil stuff, even though they're also evil.
Yeah, I was gonna say Convergence are no good guys. They have zero respect for humanity at all. Zero respect for the autonomy of Nemo. Thank you very much, Aurora. But yeah, she remains a Crixian model. Has a tail now. Oh, shit.
I mean, is she Crixian there? Because maybe. I guess those are kind of Crix colors. I guess all the stuff I'm looking at that's white is actually just steel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Like
they look
highlighted
like feathers or something, but no, I think it's just steel.
Their design look like
50mm base.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
She's new.
She is ace. So we have a print of her that's going to be in the booth tomorrow. Morton Ebra is officially announced right here, right now for Crix Necrofactorium.
You got promoted to a Lich Lord? Hold up, you can't be a Lich Lord unless you have an actual piece of like Turok in you, right? I thought there were only ever 12 Lich Lords. She is Necrofactorum. Oh man, I might have to catch up on the lore.
Again, this is another one of those interesting things that we need to deal with, where the concept art is so incredibly detailed. It has so much going on. It's actually sometimes a little bit difficult to kind of see.
He's not kidding. The Retribution-ish stuff doesn't look all that different, other than being busier with all the extra details, like those lines, the not lightning strikes, but you see what I mean, the different lights. But those shapes, that's very iconic Retribution.
What's there? I'm going to show you this, and then in a little while, not today, but in a few weeks' time, we'll show you the render and where we got to with the sculpt on this. But trust me, this is absolutely sweet. Again, another colossal, this time for House Callus.
And that's the colossal. That's very
cool. We're
cool.
adding some new mercenaries. As you guys know, we're adding a few new factions, and we feel that adding a few new mercenaries would actually help round out a few of these. So expect to see these two, amongst others, coming very soon. They're going to play for existing factions and some of the new army lists that we're working on right now.
Okay, so Gwyn Farrell, the Misery of Merwin. What a horrible title to have. And Gunnery Captain Barl Dunax. Are we talking about the tabletop game? Yes, we were talking about Warmachine. The future of Warmachine, actually. This is the keynote speech from Adepticon. I mean, does Gwyn look... I mean, the name sounds very Lael.
Does she look particularly miserable?
Right? I
know. No, I assume she's Laelese.
Okay.
She seems Laelese, the purple on her and stuff. Like, I don't know. She
and
seems
the
like
captain, he'd
well,
be Rulik.
yeah, he's definitely Rulik. Does she look like some sort of gun mage or something?
I think that's a long sword behind her.
Okay.
So I feel like she's probably some sort of melee assassin character.
Okay. And so these are... He said these would shore up some stuff. So I wonder if they have abilities that kind of fill in holes for a lot of the armies.
Okay, Thomas.
The way that Eris did.
Lael never got reclaimed, I guess. Because before any of that could happen, we had the stupid infernal invasion, right? Also, Gratz, chronic test. I apologize. I'm sorry that you had such a bad U-Haul experience. For what it's worth, the one out of Heber.
Heber.
It's always been great.
Good.
The lady there who runs it knows what she's doing. Keep in mind, MK4 mercs are just characters, no units as of yet. And supported by the RPG. I assume these minis can all be used in the RPG if you wanted to.
Wait, are they saying that there's no specific merc faction now? Like there's no army?
Well, if there's no units, then there wouldn't be, yeah. If that's the case. It sounds like that's
okay.
She could be from Ashlyn Elise's group. The purple color matches Lael.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that because Ashlyn, she was like 16 or something in the original lore, and it's been some number of years. How many years is it? The time frames jumped around so much. I actually don't know where we're at now.
Good question. I actually don't know at all.
Okay. Got a video. Maybe. All right, I've got the Signar. Long gunner. What's going on with this framing?
I think it's a camera pointed at their video.
Oh. Yeah, that makes sense. Good paint jobs. That feels more classic, like classic Signar. I really like that.
Yeah.
Those don't look as busy.
Great big super advance. We had queues around the booth today to pick up the yesterday or today's allocation. There'll be an allocation tomorrow. So if you
we're about to talk about the lore. Yes, yes. Ashlyn was maybe in her 20s, 30s current year. 622 AR, so about a 10-year jump. Yeah, 612 AR was the longest night, I believe, according to Wicked Ways. I think it was the entry into 612 AR, I want to say. And that was when all that happened. So yeah, we'd be about 10 years. Interesting. Interesting. All right, let's hear about the lore, because who hated the Hengehold scrolls?
out, don't worry, they're still going to be there. The lore is pretty simple. We all know the lore of the Gravediggers. They've been around since pretty much year dot. Thank you. Is this a little bit better? Ooh, I like the That's cool. All right, I like it. So let me talk to you a little bit about playstyle, because I think that's the really interesting part about the Gravediggers. It's a departure from what you would see with current incarnation of Signar. These are very much an elite mobile force using hit and run tactics. They have incredible versatility. The amount of attack vectors that you have available to you is mind-boggling. You can ambush from many places across the board, almost everywhere. You can drop things that actually enhance your abilities to move a little bit quicker, shoot a little bit harder, shoot a little bit further, make things a little bit tougher. You decide while you're playing, you're able to respond to what your opponent's brought you, and you're able to then counter what they're doing, but you have to be able to think quickly and know when to do the right thing. It's a great Warmachine faction that really challenges you in a different way, and it feels incredibly different from the way the current Signar army list is working.
So
So these are the Gravediggers. The last one was what, the Trenchers? Was that the
I mean, Gravediggers are one of the Trencher
That's right, yeah.
units, basically. In fact, Haley's unit were the Gravediggers. And so what he's describing there, though, it's like, well, they always were that. It's just they cost so much. They had so many options, and they priced them.
You had a point penalty for it, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's not even a penalty. It's like, yeah, you paid for all the things. You just can't do all the things every turn. And so they were never worth their points. And it's like, can you do, I think they were a 610 unit in Mark II, and then, you know, whatever that equals in Mark. Yeah, in Mark III. But it's like, you were never able to get enough work out of them to justify the points, even though they had tons of cool stuff. It's like, yeah, but you're not going to use all that, but you are going to pay for all that. Okay. So I don't know. Hopefully they don't do that again this time.
Let's see.
Talk a little bit about the first two box sets that you can get on the booth. So the Command and Battle Group box sets. So you have Hasker in the Command Starter. He comes with Plugger. Plugger is the character jack. Absolutely phenomenal. Has extended control range. He can go places. Has overtake. Can do lots and lots of damage to infantry. I think he has ambush as well, doesn't he?
Oh my goodness.
I'm pretty sure he does.
It's kind of a random thing for Jack now.
I might be playing Gravediggers tomorrow. So in the battle group, you have Cynthia, and you have the two Jacks, so the Valiant and the Patriot. One of the interesting things about the Valiant is that it has a hard weapon point that when you begin the game is unconfigured. You then choose which heavy weapon you want to drop in, depending on where you're up in the game state. So if you want something that's a long range, you drop a heavy cannon. If you want something that's got a little bit of crowd control, you get a missile launcher and get some AoE out there.
There's a Swiss Army gun.
And again, it really feeds into that Gravedigger sentiment of flexibility, responding to the opponent, applying pressure where you want it to be applied, and then disappearing back into the darkness. Very soon we're going to have the core expansion. This is going to start to really fill out your army list. There is a number of units in there that are incredibly important. The most important, in my humble opinion, will be the gun mages, of course.
Typical, yeah, I mean classic, right? That's such a identifying part of the army.
Those gun mages work with Kane, by the way, just saying.
I love Kane's gun mages.
And then we're going to follow up with the auxiliary expansion just to round things out with some more specialist units and solos, just to kind of give you a number of, or a myriad of different options to configure your Gravedigger army list.
Okay.
Ooh. That looks pretty good, Matt.
What on earth?
So that looks like a Rulik vehicle.
It does look Rulik, but I see the original Mark II issues coming up again. So we look at that base, so we look at that model.
Like barely hanging. Well, what size is that, right?
Back butt charges, like again.
I think that's like a 80 mil or something.
Yeah, I thought
they
upgraded the size, but even then, like, look at the Gigantomania, which you think would appeal to me a lot because I'm a giant. Yeah, whatever. But like that, I have a base overhang bugs, but it's fine.
80 mil base Assault Strider gives you some heavy armor to add to your hit and run guerrilla style combat. The Assault Strider was a hell of a lot of fun to paint. It's incredible on the tabletop with.
I thought they were making a star. Oh my god, star! What the hell is that stupid RTS? Starcraft reference.
Oh.
$80 mil Warcaster.
No butt charges. No arcs anymore. Well, it doesn't matter if the physical model can't like bump up against what you need, though, right? That's
the butt charge was. I think the Mammoth was the first one to do it because its tusks went out so far that if you charged, you just had to tell your opponent, "Look, this model's 180 degrees around." But if he's going to charge, he has to do it backwards.
Boom Boom McCoy.
Boom Boom McCoy. Captain
But it does
Connor
look
Boom Boom.
Sigmarin.
So
Yeah.
he can lead a battalion of assault striders across the battlefield, and they do hit like a ton of trucks or cavalry.
Okay. All right. Looking good. Oh, we got another video. It's in the dark. It's all spooky. Ooh!
Ooh, those look
Khador.
like
Khador vibes. Old ways, old witch ways, old wicked ways, huh? Okay.
Those are cool.
Those look pretty dang good.
I would have thought circle, like
No, the red is
barn
making
people.
me think Khador.
Is it the red?
And that looks Khador. Well, you're right. Like I could see kind of people stuff, but not necessarily.
Okay, old Umbre.
It almost looks more almost more Gatorman with the type of tribal stuff they're putting on, but then it's foresty like Khador. Khador old Umbre.
I love this faction. Old Umbre, on the eastern reaches of Khador.
Okay, so old Umbre was before
Vlad was Umbrian, wasn't he?
Yes, he is Umbrian. In fact, that's why Queen Einvanar wanted to marry him, because it was part of reuniting a lot of those old tribes. Because when Khador expanded to reunify all of its original territories, because they drew their own map, old Umbre, kind of the I can't remember some name, Rin, I want to say, the type of people who were there, the name that you would call the people of Umbre, Rainier, I want to say. Anyway, I haven't read this lore in years, but they never fully integrated. Like they kind of kept to old, like more traditional monarchistic ways. And Einvanar wasn't a queen necessarily; she was an empress. And yeah, so. Vlad came back from Old Umbre. His family is from all of there. This looks a little bit more wild, almost like oh my god, what was the name of the worst unit in the game that Khador had?
The woodsman,
the woodsman, Cossite woodsman.
Cossites, yeah. So Cossites were not Umbrian then.
There were Umbrians, but there were Rainier. I know that was like a thing too.
Huh. I don't
Might have been
recognize
ancestors. Well, keep in mind, Lael, I want to say Umbre is close to Lael. Like, there was a lot of mixed heritage there.
Umbre was in between Khador and Lael. Or at least Khador proper and Lael.
I don't hate the Cossites. They were just terrible to play. They were good. Yeah, they were good-looking models. These are good-looking models. This has a faction identity. This doesn't look like just a bunch of busy whirring metal. This actually looks like it has a really iconic theme so far. I don't know. I feel excited. Let's see.
They're very traditional people. They've almost become a different culture to the main Khadoran population. They hide in the forest. They stick to themselves. They're very insular. They are, of course, heavily influenced by the Old Witch. They are a key part of one of her plans. The Old Witch has foreseen something incredibly dangerous happening, and she has had to accelerate her plans in response to the Orgoth invasion. And
oh, right, the Orgoth are back.
So is that to say the Old Witch is still in the game? She's still playable?
I mean, there's no reason to not have her in it unless she's specifically killed off, and it doesn't sound like that.
I mean, that's my opinion about a lot of units that are not currently in the game. But
that is a valid point, sir.
But yeah, I was does that verify that she is in it?
My big Tej, appreciate you joining us for the stream. Safe travels. All right.
Encourage these guys to maybe get a dabbling with the Devourer. You might see a little bit of worm influence going on.
Yeah, okay, so that's where you're getting some of that, so almost like Tharn influence, right? The Devourer worm.
Which puts them at odds with the Circle, but does have very, very similar kind of feel to it. It's all about nature magic, it's all about awakened beasts, and I'm going to show you a few of the bits and pieces that are going to be coming.
Nature magic, okay.
So Boda Lesnoy is the warlock who is in the command starter set.
Warlock, is he playing with Hordes rules? I mean, I guess that makes sense for nature magic.
He just said Warlock.
He did.
So does that mean Old Umbre is like an entire faction now? Like a Hordes? Well, I guess not really Hordes, but like a Hordes-esque faction?
Maybe? Old Umbre equals Warlock-led army. So, because there's the Winter Corps, which are Khadoran, but this is Khador Old Umbre. So it's under the umbrella of Khador, but yeah, this is like a completely different playstyle. Interesting.
Huh.
Warbeast is a enormous, I don't even know how to describe bat thing. Strix, who also, as you would no doubt guess, hits like a truck, and it's not particularly pleasant coming across the tabletop at you.
So that's a
also
war
in the
beast.
command starter. We're going to go with
the very organic looking
Huh.
command starter. All right, so we got our concept art again. Dawn. So Frozen. Nightfall. I am the darkness. Day. Okay. Ellie Wiesel wrote these models, I guess, but the flamey one is kind of giving me Menoth vibes, which I think is making me sad because I don't know that Menoth's going to be coming back.
Well, it's interesting. Well, Khador was always a Menite faction anyway, right?
Primarily, they were very split because they were so religiously agnostic. Like the Empress didn't care which what you believed, if you were a fan of Thamar or Moro or Menite. So you could kind of do all of them. In fact, yeah, because the old, was it Mark III faction, you could make the Warriors of the Old Faith army, which included Khadoran models. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's no, like, Signar always seemed more Morrowind, but Khador always did seem more Menite. Although I'd see Nightfall here, Chosen of the Witch Hunt. So there's a witch hunt that they have, or is that Hunters of the? I mean, it's the old witch, right? So you're not hunting witches.
We're not hunting that witch. Old witch never gave a crap about Alexius Theonor, as far as I can tell. Although they were really fun to run together. Old Umbre is the second Khador army. It can take Khador cadres, but not models from the Winter Corps army. Yeah, I feel like they'd be pretty creeped out running with these guys. To be fair.
I mean, as opposed to what the Doom guys.
Khador was East Orthodox. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you were to make the comparison to sort of real life, you'd have the Russian Orthodox comparison.
Which,
so I mean, what were those guys? Doom bringers,
Doom Reavers.
Yeah, I mean, they ran around with Doom Reavers. I don't know if these guys are any creepier than Doom Reavers.
Nobody liked running around with Doom Reavers. Nobody. They were scary and horrible, and the Butcher is still the worst model in the game.
A three-man character unit. They all have individual abilities, and the models look absolutely incredible.
Since when has anything looked good for Circle? Their mission statement was, what if werewolves hit like pillows? I mean, the character ones still did pretty good, but yeah. Incidentally, I asked in the poll like what everyone's opinion on the lore was. 83% said that they think the lore has improved since the keynote. Like the direction of the lore is better.
Okay, interesting. Which, by the way, Warpwolf Stalkers hit pretty damn hard.
Remember when... yes, I remember.
So in the battle group, you have two heavy war beasts.
All right, I'm sorry. I'm getting real rodent vibes from Feral there. Like those don't look like fangs.
Well, they're saber-tooth fangs.
Yes,
but I know what you mean.
The quills on it I don't know.
Well, it feels very Skaven to you, I think.
That's exactly it. Oh my god, yes. Okay. Although Primeval actually looks pretty cool. Like his head helmet.
Primeval looks cool.
The Primeval is probably a little bit more obvious about where the various hard points are, but the Feral, I do want to point out the head and the back changes. You can actually have a Feral.
Sorry, Jerry. I'm just saying because a lot of people had already seen this by the time I was looking at it. So that's why I put up that poll. But I will definitely read everybody's opinions at the end.
Pig head and wings, which I particularly
A pig head and wings.
Huh.
And then moving into the core expansion, enough with this concept art, let's look at some actual miniatures. You have Kapitov Aslanov, he is the warlock in the core expansion. He
just playing
is
with
a beast
Wendigos.
hunter, he has an enormous sword.
Yes, that's exactly what that is. The Starved, right? And the Animist.
The Starved
Animist
playing
looks
with
really
Wendigos.
good. So here's a good example of really good posing, by the way, on Animist, right? That's that kind of, it's got power to it while being, it's not doing a freaking ninja pose or, you know, being highly dynamic. It's actually just looks cool. It just looks badass.
Yeah, no, I agree. And then the Starved is like a Windamoose.
Windamoose. That
It
kind of
has
makes it a little less
enormous
scary.
PNS, as you would imagine. I said PNS, all right.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, let's go. We got tons. So the Liegeman Wardens, so this is your rank and file. There is a number of different variants of the Liegeman. These are the basic.
Strong samurai vibes.
You know, actually, I'm getting a lot of what were the Circle Ouroboros guys that no one ever used? The they're just like the normal guys, right? Normal foot soldier. Reeves?
Oh yeah.
I think Reeves.
I think you're right.
These guys look kind of like Reeves, like a little more tribal and everything, but like especially the little plate, or I don't know what you'd call those. Not plate, but scale mail.
Scale mail, yeah.
Like little skirts.
Mhm.
Like coats, I guess. But I think they had those too. And they
Wolves of
served a
Ouroboros,
similar function, I think, because I think they were made up of tribesmen, which is what these guys are.
Yeah. And I mean, folks in the chat are kind of reinforcing like maybe the idea that this is where Circle Ouroboros is gone, or some of Circle Ouroboros is gone.
Infantry that you have.
Liegeman Wardens.
And then you have some models in the expansion now.
Hold up. Jezhana Aga. Why can't I say this? Aga is Vanna Aga, Old Witch Khador's name. Is that a title? Is that a name?
Her sister? It's her
Is she from the West?
I don't know. Apex Ursine? Okay.
Yeah, well, he's a cute bear. I like him. He's
very cute bear.
He's very cute. I like his look there.
He has a very warp wolf look to him.
He does. He's a warp bear. Yeah, I feel like his if the model looks like that, that works. That really works.
I'm telling you, this is a very Circle Ouroboros feel to it.
No,
honestly.
I super agree with you. I agree.
Although it's more bear centric than wolf centric.
I'm actually kind of a big fan of that aesthetic, though.
Yeah, they're looking cool.
Apex Ursine reminds me of Beast 09. Yeah, there's a sort of a similar profile to it. I love Beast 09. His lore was great. It was so minimalist and wonderful. PP's focused or PP's focus for new factions. It would be annoyed if they replaced Circle with Khador when their lore was so interesting. It is interesting. I don't know. I feel like this kind of seems to be going this direction though. Like they're going with the Circle influence.
Well, it does feel like they've taken the Reeves from Circle and just made them more north, more Khadoran, and then and just went that direction with it more, it seems.
Okay. And then someone mentioned Vulgaris mentioned that Aga is a junior warlock.
Oh,
Ursine
she's a daughter.
Actually doesn't start play on the tabletop.
Okay, hold on. Savannah Aga is literally running around the world of Kane when Minoth was stomping around on it.
Yeah.
She just has a daughter now. Like when did that happen?
I mean, look at that shriveled up old foot. Like if she could have had that daughter 1,000 years ago. You don't know.
This comes out of a liegeman as a were creature bursting out of the corpse. So yeah, you can pop up a werebear any way you like, basically.
Huh. That feels very chaos.
That does feel chaosy. But I mean, you always had the like spirit gate with Circle of Boros, so that's not unprecedented. The problem with Reeves is that they have sleeve stack crossbows. Oh, love the sleeve stack Land of the Lost reference.
Oh, here's Sherwin. What's Sherwin got to tell us about?
Oh,
Hi guys, my name's Sherwin Matthews. I'm a senior product owner at Steamforged Games. I work
what?
on the machine narrative and world building, as well as the Ice Kingdoms RPG. As a long-time Warmachine fan, I'm insanely excited to be writing fiction for this setting, alongside people like Matt Getz and Doug Seeker.
He said Doug Seeker.
Well,
Best lore writer Warmachine ever had.
yes. And
Hands
the
down.
audio
Sorry,
in the beginning just it disappeared. I had to crank his audio way up because on the original video it was just almost gone. But I did the best I could.
Okay. But I think you said he's the lore writer, but he also said
He is-
product owner.
Well, he is the lore writer, and he says that I don't know. He seems to respect Doug Seacat, is what I get from this. So
I hope so,
There's-
because
there's
Doug
that at
Seacat
least.
wrote the freaking best lore for that game ever. It
he
was
really did.
so
Yeah.
good.
Now, with that said, let's talk Warmachine fiction. Where are we in the current war? Well,
Jeff, if that's true, then I might be back. Literally.
the Orgoth will return to the Nine Kingdoms, and in doing so force Signar and Khador into an uneasy alliance with another faction.
Just like the first time Orgoth invaded. So Orgoth has reinvaded. And what did he say? It was Khador, Signar, and who?
Well, he said
Hi
Keynote and
guys,
Signor.
my name's Sherwin.
He said what?
I'll just let you play it again.
Okay. Sorry to replay, guys.
I'm a senior product owner at Steamforged Games. I work on the machine narrative and world building, as well as the Ice Kingdoms RPG. Taking possession of this incredibly powerful and ancient weapon, the Lash of Horror, and she's already used it to kill the dragon Lightgast.
I think
Oh,
you
hang
jumped
on, I
ahead.
totally
Right?
skipped something ahead here. Okay, I'm just gonna mess this up for a bit.
Some of you may not know, called the Empire of Eternal Dust. Sherwin Matthews, I'm a senior product owner at Steamforged Games. I work on the machine narrative and world building, as well as the Ice Kingdoms RPG. As a long-time Warmachine fan, I'm insanely excited to be writing fiction for this setting, alongside people like Matt Getz and Doug Seeker. Now, with that said, let's talk Warmachine fiction. Where are we in the current war? Well, the Orgoth will return to the Nine Kingdoms, and in doing so force Signar and Khador into an uneasy alliance with another faction, that some of you may not know, called the Empire of Eternal Dusk, who are eldritch hailing from the land that used to be known as Ice. One of the Orgoth warcasters, named Sabrev, has taken possession of this incredibly powerful and ancient weapon, the Lash of Horror, and she's already used it to kill the dragon Lightgast. The Orgoth has since gone to Crix and secured an alliance by giving them the artifact, and now construction is underway to create a necropolis which will allow Sabrev to summon and kill the gods. But deep in the jungle where the necropolis is being built, another army awaits that neither the Crixians nor the Orgoth expected to encounter. And that army is the Kithgard. So, who are the Kithgard? Well, the Kithgard are a Trollkin army commanded by General Gumbiel. They represent the fighting forces of the southern Krills operating in the dense forests and jungles of western Amora. They're a warlock-led army, including jungle trolls and mistborn dire trolls, and they're a heavily militarized force of guerrilla fighters that makes use of weapons and armor which have been salvaged either from the hulls of warjacks left on the battlefields or procured on the black market. I could honestly go on and on about this faction, but I'm not going to, because I know that Matt and Jamie both have some really, really cool stuff to show you over the next few slides. So, thanks everyone for listening, and enjoy the rest of the keynote.
I want more. Okay. So, Orgoth have invaded. Signar and Khador are in an uneasy alliance to deal with that. Then the Eldritch, which came from
Ios,
what
right?
was the retribution of Syra. Now everything exploded. Everyone became a eldritch, sadness, tragedy. Whoever's the leader
It's
there.
Dusk, something Dusk.
House of Dusk or something. House of 1,000 Dusk, they have some object that they went to an alignment with Crix over. Is I hearing that right?
Yeah, it was the audio kept just cutting out, and that was in the original video. I was trying to recover it, but I couldn't. But yeah, so it seems like there's something, but then the Troll Bloods aren't having it, and they're led by Gunbjorn. And
which why would the Troll Bloods have it? The Crix are evil and horrible. So I mean
why would anyone have it? I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's interesting. I kind of hate what they did with the Iosian lore, but I'm curious to see what they do going forward. You know, it's done.
Well, I was going to say, I wonder if they're just kind of trying to salvage, right? Because it's just like, well, you either rewrite it and say that never happened, or you just sort of pick up and go from there.
Orgoth and Crix are in an alliance? Okay.
I mean, that would make sense because Crix really kind of slapped him around. Like it was the island. What's the name of the island that they're on?
True fact, Kitty. They're on.
I don't know.
The shattered island.
The Meatyhead Isles.
Shard Islands.
Shard Islands. I think that's right. The one. So I think even Turok just
flew out. Way back here.
Yeah, I think Turok flew out and just sunk half of their navy. And so they just sort of left Crix alone and stayed away from the islands.
So, Kevin, I thought he said Blightergast was slain, not Garlgast. Was I mishearing that? Shared islands. Shut up, Jeremy.
Let's go again.
Good job, Sherry. So yes, the Kithgard are coming.
Okay. Look at they've incorporated the Creel stone and the axes. Like, good art direction.
The Necrofactorian forces.
Kithgar?
Kithgard. They guard the Kith. They're Kith and kin, right?
Okay. I wasn't hearing the D at the end of it, so I didn't know if that was just a made up word or if it's guard makes more sense.
Oh, Garlgast is the name of some of the islands. Oh, actually, I don't know that I ever knew that. Blighter is slain. Blightergast is dead. Okay. The original World of Iron Kingdoms is so diluted now. I think they're just trying to pick up the most notable pieces and go in a new direction. That may be.
Yeah, I think it's probably just what they're stuck with.
Yeah. Okay. So I do recall that. Like Torok got pissed when the Orgoth were like messing around on his land.
They're like, we're gonna take this island, and he's like you're gonna do what now?
I'm a dragon. Oh. And dragons in the world of the IKRPG were actually so cool. Like the Iron Kingdom's dragons, the concept of dragons were
they're
kind of fundamentally different.
Kind of interesting kaiju, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true.
Have been messing about in the neighborhood have awakened the Kithgard. They're coming to deal with this. Let's have a look at some of the models that you're going to have in the Kithgard coming up real soon.
Big troll.
So yeah, troll beasts who salvage heavy weapons off of warjack.
I was going to say, that is a destroyer cannon from a Khador warjack.
So it is, but I mean, didn't this... So this... Not the exact model, but this kind of already existed, right? It was either a character model or... No, I think it was a character model that had the Khador destroyer... Not destroyer. Whatever the big gun is. Tig.
Bombast. Bombast cannon? I don't remember.
Tig and boom. I don't know. I'll look it up. I'll see if I can find the name of it while you're gone.
Tactical Rock. Yep, you've spotted it. That's twice now, right? You said the other one, Animus or whatever. Animus Ted. A Tactical Rock as well.
Smig.
Rocks aren't always bad. At least he's not jumping, okay?
Is it Smig and Dozer?
Oh, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, Jeremy's confirming. Oh, okay, we got Signar.
Let's have a look at the retail roadmap. So, as you know, we tend to focus on 3 intense months for an army release. We believe that enables us to get enough models into your hand to meaningfully play.
All right, so Signar Gravediggers already out in March. So they would have been getting sold at Adepticon and into April. At the expansion, core expansion and auxiliary expansion into April and May. Then Old Umbre is June through August. September through November is the Southern Creels, and then something shiny and new and unknown.
Redacted Army.
Yeah, so it'll be a new release of some faction, presumably. I don't think
that
we'll
army
go
list,
with one that's
but
already
then
there.
over a period of time after that, you get lots of new releases. They're going to come out at an appropriate kind of time. So we have the Gravediggers coming out, then Old Umbre, and then it's going to be the Kithgard, and then it's going to be Redacted. We know what that is. We will tell you at some point in time. That's a tease. I'm going to hand over to Rich before I get pressured into telling you any more about Redacted.
Yeah, that's right.
It's
I got to follow this now. Yeah.
All right, so live now on Humble Bundle. Oh yeah, so you can get the Iron Kingdoms 5th edition RPG. Oh, okay, and you get that.
So I got some interesting things I'm sure like. So the Humble Bundle, you might have seen this. We had a lot of questions about the lore when we took over the IP, how to access a lot of the stuff. So one of the first things we did actually was start to work on the Humble Bundle. It's available right now if you haven't seen it. It's full of lore, like from the original RPG setting to the 5e content. So just honestly, the amount of stuff in there is great. It supports charity as well, which is excellent. I think we've already raised like 10 grand for charity, which is fantastic.
Okay,
so please go and check it out.
Bundle part then, that doesn't matter. Ooh, what we got?
Which is excellent. I think we've already raised like
51, 30.
The Warmachine app, reimagined, right? So again, we've really looked hard at the app when we took it over. We have stages of how we develop things internally. Getting the world right, getting the manufacturing right, getting the app right is now one of our key focuses. Optimization is a big one that we want to get.
So optimization
right? As
is
the app has
important.
grown over time, it's got a little slow and a little bit clunky. So we're
Bringing back the history of the Iron Kingdoms. Does that mean? Well, they had lore on there. You had to pay for it.
really focusing again in Q1 this year,
Localization
Q2, on optimizing the app to get it faster, speedier and better. And then we're bringing back the history of the Iron Kingdoms. Again, in terms of the bundle, there is a ton of stuff there that we want to bring back into the app and create that value. Localization is another one for our European partners and elsewhere to start bringing in some that content, which we're going to do over time, and start to actually bring in localized versions so other areas can have fully localized cards.
Really?
So the advantage
is that live now, Bulgaris?
Versus traditional print. So, all rules always available for everyone. We want to make that really clear so everyone knows that we never want to do anything with like paywalls, etc. on rules. That's not what we want to do.
Oh, they made the app totally free. Is it totally free? Yeah. Okay.
So, I mean, does that just the core rules he's talking about, or does that include the factions?
It says all rules for everyone. Everybody gets a rule.
For everyone makes me feel like it's the factions.
There's a new version. Oh, well, that'll take a little while. I'll just let that update. Let's see what he says.
Some of you may see the ruling section in the app now. So when we do our infernals, we're doing a fantastic job our infernals still. When they do the rulings, we now put that in the app under rulings on the listing. So every most
Oh, that's nice. Not having to go to a forum.
piece is in the app, and that's always going to be available as well. The cloud storage and access across multiple devices is now, we're pulling that to standard, so anyone can get that at any time.
Okay.
And lore for everyone. Again, there was a bunch of narrative-based content. Going back to what Matt said about the pillars of design, we want to bring that narrative content away from that paywall and available to everyone to encourage narrative play in stores. So how do we build value, right? So 20 years of the Iron Kingdoms, there is so much novella, novels, stories, so much, right?
I've read so many of the Iron Kingdoms books, and I haven't read any of those. None of them. Well, okay, so I'm pretty sure Mutagenesis and Rites of Passage are anthologies, but I don't know about the Dark Convergence.
right? And we really want to start pushing that into the app so we can bring new people, returning players, and just hard to get, things now to get them back into the app and bring that in. So we're going to bring that content into the app over time.
So one thing I would really like it if they did was also put them out as, I don't know, print on demand, right? As through Amazon or something. Just that way it doesn't cost them anything. Yeah, the novels.
Yeah.
I don't want to read stuff on my phone.
Having a physical book is really nice. That's true. And print on demand, like that service has come a long way.
Oh,
I don't know, maybe. So I don't know. Maybe there's stuff in here about that.
I don't know. It'd be nice if they did something like that, though. That would be kind of cool.
Return of the Cephalix. Okay. They were okay. New annual subscription includes free Eluxon Nostile and Aberration in August. Brand new 40mm Journeyman Warcaster. First 80mm super heavy monstrosity, also in hard plastic, MSRP $70, which is probably pretty good at this point. Subscription model will update every 12 months. Subscription model, like their pricing, well, $70 a year.
Annual subscription. What is? Well, I guess I'm trying to figure. What are you subscribing to? New annual subscription.
I don't
Update,
know.
annual Gen Con release.
$5.83 a month. So you barely save anything between monthly and annual, but that's fine.
But I guess it's the app that you're getting a subscription to. Like, what are you subscribing to here?
I assume it's the app because they're talking about the app and how do they add a value to it.
Huh.
Yeah, the app just went from $4.99 to $5.99 a month. And the annual subscription is like $5.83 a month is what it averages. So
is that lore or like what is it? Because if they're like all rules are free for everyone, all faction rules are free for everyone, is it just lore that's?
I don't know. I should probably keep going.
Okay.
So how do we build value, right? So one of the things we thought of is actually introducing an annual subscription that gives a free miniature. Okay, so this is, as you can see there, Exelon Nostilla and the Aberration. There's an 80mm and a 40mm Warcaster. Okay, so you subscribe to the annual subscription. We're going to give you that for free.
Oh, I get it. Okay, so this year's theme is the Cephalix. You subscribe for 1 year, you get those models as in addition to maybe other stuff.
Now, are these alternate sculpts or are these just models you get, but only if you're subscribed?
On the retail release of that. So we really wanted to build again that underlying value. So we're not reliant on that kind of constant demand of like weekly little chips. We're really kind of pumping that value so everyone gets what they want.
GW did it first. No, GW let you buy the app so that you could also pay another $70 for a miniature. No. That you could only buy if you were a subscriber.
What type of model is it?
What type of model is it? It is a super, I think it's the first one as well. It's the first super heavy monstrosity. So 80mm, yeah, which is kind of cool.
Same as Magnus.
Same model from the sound of it.
Yeah, go for next. We're also working on another additional subscription. So we've partnered with My Mini Factory and Steamforged on something that helps ancillaries around the hobby. Again, the hobby aspect is really important to us. We're going to choose additional subscription. So if you go to the next page. We've got a welcome pack, and these are a sample of what's in it. So essentially, this will be a digital STL printable at home subscription. So you'll be able to access terrain based around, the welcome pack is all based around the Cephalix. So there's a ton of terrain in there to get your tables in your local game stores and that looking fantastic. That's what we want to see.
Oh, good.
Everyone using that stuff.
That's the right way to go. That is definitely the right way to go, is start creating almost a standard look for terrain.
Yes. Holy smokes, no kidding.
Like a standard and identifiable look for terrain. When people see it, they're like, oh, right, it's this. And yeah, put it out for 3D printing so that people can just have terrain. That is smart, and I like it.
The subscription gives you unlimited army list building, the Iron Kingdom's novels. Okay, the novels, as opposed to maybe lore bits. Lore releases from Mark 4 armies. This one's very impressive. I got the welcome bundle. It's amazing. No, this is so smart. This is smart for multiple reasons. One, they get to actually control the aesthetic of the game, because when you walk into a game store and you see people just playing over, like, I don't know, cereal boxes or whatever, or GW terrain or whatever, nobody knows.
Like GW terrain.
We've all been
Probably not cereal boxes.
We've all been there. Look, I'm just saying, like, they get to make cool designs, and these are 3D printed, which means that, you know, there is the cost of the sculptor, right? But you're not dealing with manufacturing cost. And this encourages game stores to carry that terrain, or to just have it on hand as part of, like, hey, come into our store and play. That also can just look really cool on its own. So somebody might be, hopefully there's some kind of branding on it, right? When you 3D print it. So if someone's looking at it, they're like, what is this for? Like, maybe they can see that it's for Warmachine. So I super love this idea. This is super smart.
Yeah, I agree.
Stoppers in there that fit on the bases, so you can really get your bases looking amazing. We're doing the objectives. That's our 2025 objectives, along with defenses and scenario objectives, all going to be provided for in that. And we're also doing the conversion parts. So these are Cephalix-based Warjack arms parts, etc. heads, to make that the customization parts, start bringing that to Warmachine to really get that unique hobby feel around your arm.
Customization.
Nice.
Wow.
Here's a few more items of the terrain. Like I said, the terrain pack itself that comes in the welcome pack part of this is enough to get about 10 to 14 pieces. So a real amount of terrain that you can really do a really good solid board from.
Say 10 to 40? Or
we
14?
might have some else in there
14.
as well. So we have an entire 30-point cadre for the crews. So this is the Cephalix Highbind. So these are the brand new cadre that will be in there. So it's the first digital cadre that we've produced. And it'll be going in there again. Another way to get into Warmachine, engaging new crowds, really, really important for us.
So a fully 3D printed, what, 30 points?
Okay.
So just for getting into it, that can be 3D printed to try an army out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I've said for years.
I know.
At this point, like I've said that that's the way you should do. Also, I like that they have bits that you can print.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty cool.
That is something. That is, wow. Wow.
And for those that don't have a printer, we will offer this in May on the from our web store and our Warmachine War stores. Really important point. We've got a stockist program now for our retailers, and they become our war stores. They're the stores that have our SSDUs, which you may have seen on the stand or at Gamma, and they really help kind of promote and build Warmachine in stores, because LGSs, as everyone will agree here, I'm sure, are absolutely the heartblood of what we want to do with Warmachine and get it into those stores.
Yeah.
But that's a lot, right? So not only do you get the welcome pack at any point, so the Cephalix welcome pack, we're also going to be doing the first one that will tie in.
Yeah.
Like, that looks great.
Yeah, I was kind of checking that out. That's interesting.
With every army release we do, so you'll get a 3-month release related to the army coming out. So right now it's Gravediggers, and this will be launching very soon, i.e. April. So you're going to get this straight away. You're going to get 3 months of Gravediggers releases, then it'll move on to Old Umbre, etc.
Oh, thank you, cool guys.
Just very well back on that one. Yeah. Obviously, there's a Warcaster on there, right? So in this as well, we are going to be doing a variant Warcaster. So this is actually based around the Ghost Dogs theme. So any Loris may know that one. So we've kind of just took a theme for that and then done a bit of a spin on that. So you'll get a terrain set we'll release the objectives, we'll release the toppers, and we'll release the conversion parts as kind of the free trio to go along with that.
Wow.
So again, you haven't seen this, but we've got extended trencher outposts as one of the key ones. So we've got
trenches are hot right now.
You can build, which is awesome. And again, being STL, you can print as much trench as you want, so you can have every trench in the world, right?
Little wagon's cool.
And then again, so month 2 and month 3, as you can see here, we've got a mining facility upland, which brings in the conversion parts with a variant Vargas. We've got the security checkpoint with terrain set with the SR-25 objectives and defenses, with a variant Jakes. And then if you subscribe for 3 months, you also get the various Symphony Roscoe. So it kind of covers all the retail.
Okay, so they do some variant models as well.
Yeah, that's smart.
So we have 2 tiers. So for those people who just might, again, a lot of people probably not in this room, but people outside this room, but they want to see the sample Warmachine video, the Warcaster, we'll start with that one, or the variants, and we'll basically give a $5 kind of entry point to get them into seeing the cool mini, right, and get more exposure to Warmachine. And then the main one is $10. That's what we're charging.
So Crusade of Trenches. Oh yeah, I suppose with that new game, people would have overlap for that terrain, huh?
Which is the full digital pack. That gives you the welcome pack and gives you the monthly content. Now just going to also, the kind of
Look, Shale, I am not going to give them grief for making smart business decisions. Okay, that's just being clever.
So I don't know. I mean, this seems pretty good. Somebody had mentioned before that the Cephalix, I guess each of those you can only use one of in an army, so you still have to expand with purchased models. But I think that's perfect.
Yeah, no, that is perfect because then you can sample, try before you buy. Like if you're wanting more models, then you're invested now. Yeah,
it's at some point you should buy.
Yeah,
buy into your army,
but business, you need to pay employees. So I mean, whatever. Like this is so welcoming.
But if you think about it, I mean, that's that's bigger than just the starter boxes were, right? Like the original starter boxes
with the Warcaster and 2 Warjacks usually.
Or a heavy and 2 lights or something like that. And it's like, no, you actually get some units. It looks like you get enough to figure out how the game plays. Do you know what I mean? And so
like how it actually functions. Yeah, these guys do seem to sort of they actually seem to understand the modern miniature market.
No, this is almost like word for word, or bit by bit, exactly what I've been talking about for a while now. This is exactly the way I would roll it out.
Which means that they're probably going to do really well with it. Okay, yeah, 30 points is a basic small game.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so tier 2 now. So there was a $5 a month one. Now there's a $10 a month one with a monthly terrain release. Oh my!
We got a sign-up page, and China, I'm sure, is busy working in the background, can't get us up. But there'll be a sign-up page where we will, to get this kicked off, give the Bookcaster SAL for free just by signing up to get yourself on our mailing list with no subscription required. I don't feel like I'm selling here, but it should be.
Great. We're just taking it all in.
I agree, Aaron.
No, that's fine.
Boom Howler's got a hook now.
Oh my, what has happened to you, Boom Howler? Everyone else is new, right?
I think so. Old Umbre and then Gravediggers. Okay.
Boom Howler, Admiral hat.
I know, right?
Great. So we've taken a little directional twist with Minikate. So we feel like the miniatures that were probably a bit too on the comedic side, we're a bit too not to our liking. So we're taking it back to being really cool kind of variants that we want to do.
Which I don't mind. I like the idea of being more
style
serious.
change. And licensed accessories. So something else that you might have seen.
Wow, they've partnered with.
So we've got a few partnerships, some long-standing ones, people like Broken Egg.
Not gonna lie, I was hoping I'd see more Table War, but War Mag, I'm not familiar with. Broken Egg, of course, I'm familiar with, and Baron of Dice, yeah. Ooh, Khador Dice.
New ones, so FLG have come on for custom game mats, Baron of Dice for dice ranges, and Warmag, which is UK based but coming this way as well, magnetised water trays and stuff. So we'll show you some pictures of those. So dice are absolutely gorgeous.
Okay, yeah, I mean they're gonna look good.
Baron's done a great job. So we've got full sets of that as well. So we've got some out, there will be some if you swing by Baron's booth tomorrow, they'll be on sale. So there is limited stock, so yeah, kind of quick. But there's loads of dice to look at, and there's some there, but we're going to have more coming out as well. FLG doing an awesome job on neoprene mats. So we've got, again, this will be out on Top Table to View.
Because they were the best dice,
so we'll have that in the events hall to go and have a look at it.
Okay, so I guess it's a Crixian themed mat. Presumably still 4x4. I don't think they've changed that, right?
By the way, are they talking about
Warmag,
Boom Howler's sister?
Boomhauer, yeah, sister. Someone mentioned daughter, but maybe sister.
So his sister is a pirate captain caster, like a warcaster or warlock.
A warlock, I would think. All of the trollkin have always been warlocks.
I mean, Khador's typically been warcasters too. So.
That's true. Good point.
Just
Good point.
saying.
Yeah, warlock. That's what they're saying. Thorga. Oh yeah, that is familiar. Warmag does magnetic sheets with printed textures that are designed to fit the really useful box brands. Oh, that's neat. That's also really smart.
So these are magnet-sized trays, faction trays.
There you go.
Perfect carrying your army in. We absolutely love them. We use them a lot, so you can do crate configurations.
So the very useful boxes are helpful because they stack really well, and
have different depths. Or
and they're
height.
very
depth.
How do we think of it?
They're really useful.
Hence the usefulness, right? But the sheet is all magnetized, so you can deal with dynamic models by just setting them in their own space.
So is that an adhesive on the back where you just stick the sheet to the bottom, or?
I don't know.
So it doesn't bounce around?
And universal lid feels right.
Really soon. And official merch.
Bring that back.
As you may have seen, we're wearing some kind of cool merch. So these are our samples. So yeah, this will be coming out again very, very soon. The system's all good, the testing's all going great, so we're bringing the merch back to everyone.
I need a 5X.
And a few big sizes, as you can tell. Yeah. So manufacturing. When we took over, the Iron Kingdoms, the IP, obviously one of the things when we're doing any kind of big purchase like that we still think we're not as clear on. The manufacturing needed a bit of work. We all know that at the start we had to slow things down. The Gravediggers that we delayed on purpose to do that. We are really confident now that we've actually got to a really strong state. We've worked with that. In the US, we tripled production now, so we are literally doing a hell of a lot more than we were 8 months ago.
So I wonder where they're producing that, if that's in the United States or not.
Yeah, where the manufacturing is happening.
Because they're working on getting a European partner, presumably for European manufacturing.
It's fully scalable, so we've built in the ability to scale as demand increases.
Oh,
I'll put a star next to that because if it goes
maybe
mental,
Florida is
it
one of
might
those
still be an
spots.
issue, just an FYI. Yeah. And we are heavily invested in brand new equipment, which is really driving the quality up, which we have seen the response from you guys saying these latest releases and diminished quality is just starting to up a notch, and we're continuing to work on that throughout.
Sorry, Michael. Australia is such an unfriendly place to everyone.
Like ship stuff into.
What was
yeah.
what I heard? Then there was a new game coming out that's like completely banned out there. Like, I got some problems.
Oh, it's like a new video game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I mean, I think just manufacturing there is just super difficult. But you guys have, isn't it crazy tariffs or something y'all have always had? I thought that was the case. Correct me if I'm wrong, because it's been a long time since I actually kept up with anything going on in Australia. But Silent Hill, the new Silent Hill is completely banned in Silent Hill F is completely banned in Australia.
And for our European friends that may be watching at home at 3 a.m., hello. So again, the European one was a little delayed behind, but now we've got a really strong partner. The retail range is our core focus to get the retailers in Europe really up to scratch with the product lines. We're pretty much there with all that going on. And then after that, we're going to very quickly switch.
Mandragore is 100% right. Either way is a smart move, avoids all the tariffs that I feel will kill shopping and Kickstarters for a lot of people. Yeah, I'm sure Kickstarters are all holding their breath right now.
Well, you're talking about just locating manufacturers within the countries. Yeah. No, that's something I thought about years ago. I remember thinking that's probably the way you would make a war game that would be in Australia at all. It's like you would have to have them make stuff in Australia.
That's true. But it's smart long term, right? Because if there are so many game companies right now and they're all relying on foreign manufacturing and there is some sort of global event to make that be affected, then last man standing.
The direct lines as well. So Europe should hopefully get to where it needs to be in the next few months.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so we just wanted to make sure that everyone was aware that
Hold on. All right, Armies of Legend. So we've got Prime and Legacy, which we know. Prime legal armies are no longer sold at retail, but available direct from Steamforged.com. What do they mean? Available direct, like as a made army or as a STL? Locked army, no future release, sure. No plans to rotate any armies of Legend into Legacy. Legend. Wait a minute. What about current armies of Legend?
Two formats we have now are Prime and Legacy. And Armies of Legend are essentially models from the Legacy range that work in Prime, so they're a Prime format army. Prime legal armies are no longer sold at retail, but are available direct from Steamforged.com. Now, they are locked armies, there's no future releases for them, and there's no plans to rotate the Armies of Legend out of into Legacy. Now, what about the current Armies of Legend that you just can't get anymore? Well, we've got an interesting thing. We will be returning these Armies of Legend to the store. So these will be direct armies. So
okay. Excuse me. Infernals I don't care about. All right, Crucible Guard.
Okay, I like the Crucible Guard.
Yeah, and Grimkin, thank God. I thought some of those models physically couldn't be made anymore.
So what we'll do is a very sensible rollout plan that scales with that. We shall bring all these factions, these first four, back to the store, and they'll always be available direct. That's our plan. And then again, if you're a War Store, Warmachine War Store, they'll be able to order into the LGS as well. That's one of the big perks of them. So they will come in out all the time, and we are assessing some of the other factions. We don't obviously have everything for everything, and there might be some surprises when we do it. We might do some tweaks to the final lock when we do this. Go to the other stores, there's going to be some factions that are simply literally 20 years old at this stage, right?
Yeah.
So what we actually are doing is more of a made-to-order within the Black Anchor Industries brand, where we'll do months where we bring back certain models, and you can see they're very hard to get model, right? And we hate seeing the stories online. I really want to finish my Legacy army or an Army Legend with this cool model, I can't get it. Some of these we do have, right? So we will be bringing them back in bursts with a month's supply, put the orders in, and we can supply them as well. So again, trying to just bring back, we love the Iron Kingdom for 20 years of that rich history. We want returning players in, we want to get people really re-engaged.
I'm not sure I totally understood. So they were taking old sculpts and they were revisiting the Black Anchor Heavy Industries models, the real big ones usually, to do like re-releases of on a limited basis. Was that was I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, it seemed like they were rotating out when they would maybe do a run of them.
Yeah, because it said industries months. So like this month is one more wagon or whatever.
So I wonder if they're still doing them as resin casts and stuff like that.
It's print on demand for the limited armies. So print on demand and not a scheduled limited rollout. Because if it's print on demand, then you can always get it. Whereas if it's a limited rollout, then it's like, okay, well, once every 2 years, we'll re-release these models and get your order in now. I need that beer wagon. They'll eventually do all of them. Okay. That's interesting. I didn't get too many of the Black Anchor Heavy Industries models, but
it's funny. The ones I really liked. Well, one of them was the Crocolisk.
Oh, the Dracodile.
That's what it is. The and the the Scorn ones where they had the cool Hydra desert.
Oh, the Hydra was gorgeous.
Yeah,
that's true. That was a good one. Some of the old models they need to rebuild from scans. Yeah. Okay. Black Anchor is rotating. Okay, so the other legacy, damn it, legend models are print on demand, which is awesome because then you can't must your Grimkin and Crucible Guard. That's awesome. I love this. I love this a lot. Huh. Okay. And it being online, like that's fine. I mean,
what are they gonna have stores carry all that stuff? Like, no.
No, I mean, yeah, exactly. Organized play, supporting all forms of play. See what that means. Base, organized play pack, narrative event bolt-on, an Iron Gauntlet bolt-on, paint and take pack. Please encourage the players to paint their models. They're such pretty models. That's what it was originally, Andrea. Except it was all in-house.
So as Matt was talking much earlier about the 3 pillars of how we want to support Warmachine: casual, matched play, and narrative, then we want to mirror that in terms of how we work on our organised play packs. So we're going to start this off with a base organised play pack that's designed to be used with any kind of event. We don't want to lock into just match play, getting all the different kind of swag that you can get. People playing in the Iron Arena today will see some of the first ones of those. Some of the cards are on the seats that you sat down on, the early command cards, for example. It's going to be some kind of focus tokens, other bits and pieces like that. That's going to be a base pack that can be used for narrative events, and kind of casual events that you run. Just people come with something to play at your store, you know, guys play for the day, and also your match play for competitive play. Go back, wasn't it? On top of the base pack, there are also some bolt-ons. So if you want to play a particular narrative event, that we're going to be bringing a bolt-on that goes into your base pack, that will mean that you can play a specific narrative that we make. So for example, people in the narrative downstairs have seen the Crash Skyship. For example, we can do a smaller STL version of that. You can print at home, play your own version of that, be your own store, your own clubs. Not done yet. Iron Gauntlet bolt-on. So the Iron Gauntlet's super important to us. This is going to be a bolt-on to the base pack. So you have your base pack already, your command cards, your focus tokens, etc. You're also then going to get an Iron Gauntlet specific trophy that will go with that set. And then you go and you run your Iron Gauntlet events. And then we're also working on some elements for the hobby as well. So paint and takes, we want to make sure we're giving you increased reasons to want to be able to paint your events, paint your miniatures for your events, and give you rewards for doing so. Much more options for doing that stuff. You can go now.
It does sound like that.
So, as I said, you may have seen some of these cards downstairs. The base organised play pack is going to contain a full set of these that you can give out to your players as you go. You probably collect maybe 1-2 cards from your events each time you play. The pack is meant to be scalable. If you have a bigger event going on, you'll get multiple packs. You have more stuff to give out to your players. Collect obviously a full set of cards over the course of several events, or in the Iron Arena if you're playing downstairs.
Okay, encourages
now,
you.
I mentioned earlier that we want to give you more reasons and rewards for painting your miniatures. A super key one here is the command cards themselves. Now, how we've started this off is we've taken those professional photographs of our studio painted miniatures. But what we want to do is we want to offer you the chance to submit to us any photographs you've got, your best painted miniature awards. Your miniatures have got a chance to be on these command cards and future sets.
Thomas, did you hear that? Thomas Grayball, I'm just hearing your beautiful army. Oh man. There's still more announcements. This is a lot. Wow, this is a dense keynote.
Well, to be fair, it's them kind of saying, hey, as a new company, this is literally everything we're doing, not just an update that they're doing to an already existing kind of company making a game,
Yeah.
This is a lot of everything new.
Well, I wonder how they're going to court game stores, because I assume they'd want game stores. They need some representative to get these cards, right? And then host these events to get people to come in time after time.
So I mentioned the Iron Gauntlet. This is, again, it's an incredibly important event to us. We want to make sure that we can give access to the Iron Gauntlet worldwide. So at the moment, we're taking in sanctioning requests for different events. We're sanctioning as Iron Gauntlet qualifiers. We're going to split those into 2 halves. So we're going to have events that will feed into a North American Iron Gauntlet final, and we're also going to have another one in the EU. So we're going to have Lock and Load US and a Lock and Load EU as well. Speaking of which,
all this year.
Lock and Load. It's going to be a Warfare weekend. So November.
Oh, Lock and Load's happening this year. That's right.
Tickets
releasing this month.
This year, and tickets releasing in April. Lock and Load EU to be announced. Just trying to make sure we can lock down a suitable venue. We'll go from there. Looking forward to seeing you all in November.
Ooh. All right. So Lock and Load coming back. It's nice. It's important.
We'll confirm it. Yeah.
We'll confirm that. Confirm that later. Go back to that. This is where Matt.
Early. press gang program returning. Okay, well, that's how they're getting those cards into people's hands to promote events. What does that look like?
Where's it gone? It's gone off that screen. Look at this screen.
Holy smokes. That's making a lot of people happy.
So we recognise that the Press Ganger program had an incredible value to the community.
Yeah.
We want to preserve everything that was great about that program, and all of the things that didn't quite work the way that they should have, we're going to be polishing those out. So we're going to share with you how this Press Ganger program.
So, I mean, the only, as far as I can tell, the only reason it went away is because Magic the Gathering got
just scared
sued.
Everybody.
And so, yeah, everybody got scared and shut down their programs.
Yeah.
And so, like, it wasn't necessarily that Privateer wanted to get rid of their press gangers. They just got scared just like everyone else did. So
they did, but it's like
interesting seeing it come back.
Yeah, I agree. And I wonder if that just comes down to whatever the agreements would be of the terms of what it means to be a press ganger. Welcome back, Big T.
The program is going to be rolling out over the coming months, so you can understand how best to engage with this particular program.
Gosh, no kidding. The press gangers are so incredible. It's a bit of a side note, but I mean, Infinity became an enormous meta here in Albuquerque, primarily because of like one person who just
two people.
You're right. It was 2 people who just dauntlessly, tirelessly pushed demos at the game stores and promoted. Like he had armies on hand that he would give to people to play games and get them into the Infinity scene. And I mean, never underestimate like those super fans, but also just like those are your boots on the ground.
Motivated fans.
Do everything just through the internet, right? I mean, you need physical. There's a physical game. You need people to like physically show it to you, and you can't have an employee everywhere. So you get people from the community to be involved in it, which is actually the best because they know the community. It's just it's overall just such an obvious thing to do.
No, and I don't know if Magic the Gathering or whatever was. I don't know. Probably they're being awful to their whatever their press ganger versions were, but like it was a sudden need of like, well, if you're giving product then that has a monetary value, then you're not actually paying us, and it turned into just a big stupid thing, I think. And so it started turning into, well, how can you even reward anyone for you know what I mean, for championing your game?
Right.
And it took
without
away a lot of
considering them an employee. And now are you meeting all those labor laws was the thing.
Yeah. So I'm wondering what's changed, you know, what allows them to do it now. Right.
It's an IRS thing. For-profit corporations can't have volunteer workers. They can. So they have to set up an outside volunteer organization. I'm not totally sure if is that the case? Like you literally can't have one as a for-profit? I'm pretty sure that's not true.
I'm pretty sure interns exist.
Interns exist. I mean, Nova is a for-profit, convention. We have volunteers. Like that's a thing. I mean, that's pretty common. But I think it just comes down to like being really clear as to what that means. You're maybe not misleading people. I don't know what the California ruling specifically said about all that. But it ended up creating a kerfuffle where the Magic the Gathering reps, I can't remember what they were called, scared everyone in the industry. So press gangers went away, outriders went away, all of the game stores went away from them. We call them interns. Exactly. So interesting though. I mean,
what was it in all right, this is a little bit of a deep cut for anyone who knows out there, but the Steve Zissou. I'm trying to remember what he called all of his guys. They'd get a Speedo and a Glock and they'd run around with them. The gosh, over 10-year-old movie now, but were they interns? I thought they were called something else. I need to find out what they're called. I'll get back to you.
Okay.
One of the things,
it's open to anyone.
You want to run an event, you want to run 2 events, you're a press ganger. You're building your community. You're doing things for the people in your store or the people at your gaming club or your friends. So we really want to make sure that the Press Ganger program is there to encourage and help people to really build communities because they are the lifeblood of this game, and they are the reason why we have such a fantastic time at events like this, because we all come together, and it's on the back of those people working incredibly hard in their stores. So we want to make sure that they feel loved. We want to make sure that we're getting Warmachine back to its grassroots, and we want to make sure that the press gangers are back and here to stay.
That's pretty awesome. That is.
Well, it wouldn't be a press ganger program with a bit of merch, would it? So you run some events, we're going to hook you up with some sweet merch. That's the slide, right? You know, we want to.
So KDO, obviously Mark II is like the golden age of Warmachine, right? It really was. I mean,
oh yeah.
There were some awful things about it, but it was kind of just an amazing game. And honestly, the core rules remain amazing. It's just the bloat of special rules and models that made it an issue.
Just got
make
out
sure
of hand.
We're giving you all the tools you need to build that community in your local area.
That's really cool. That's really smart. Hey!
I'm old. I like reading real books.
Trench Crusade made over 3 million on Kickstarter, and every single pledge level included a physical rulebook, because if you want to play a physical game that involves, you know, utilizing your brain, having a damn phone around you will limit the use of your brain. And so, yes, printed rulebook superior. Even though I enjoy the app just fine. I used War Room like crazy when I wasn't playing Warmachine, because I loved the theory craft out of it and talk about it and look up stuff and read things in there. But I don't know, printed rulebook, it's just so much more portable in a way. I don't know.
Well,
not that I need to keep reselling this to people. Like, you feel how you feel, right? But
here you go. Sugar rhubarb, burnt red, pro krill.
Oh, that's the one. There you go. Check a rhubarb. It gets better there, but wait, there's more? Okay.
Oh, wait, there's more.
There's so much already. All right, printed rulebook. Mwah, thank you. Is that print on demand? I wonder if they're going to sell it. Command card deck. All right. I need to know how they're going to handle that with erratas. Let's see.
We are working on a printed rulebook. So the rulebook we have put heavily into an edit process, where it's in layout. It is a lengthy process, as I'm sure you can imagine, but coming very, very soon. Printed rulebook, and you have the handy dandy command card examples sitting underneath your butt cheeks right now, unless you picked it up before you sat down, which is probably more likely.
Powered with Forged Fire Connect. I've never heard of them.
I'm old. Again. I like playing with real cards. Now, officially, it makes much more sense for Steamforged Games to support this game through the app. But it also makes sense for us to make it easy for those of you who want more of an analog experience to get hold of cards that look badass, have cool artwork on them, have all the stats laid out on them, and print them out. So we are working with Forged Fire Connect on the back end for us to move all of the data onto their servers. That enables us to configure the cards and make them available in their marketplace for you to grab either just the cards you want or an entire army list for the faction that you're playing, so you have the physical cards.
All right.
Wow, and you can get them professionally printed. Okay, yeah. It's on their website. You have like Fallout cards, Song of Ice and Fire are here. Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, so this is the right way.
This is wow. I'm getting overwhelmed with the competency. It's just,
I know, right?
Making me hum. I love it. Oh my god, this is so yes. Whew. Someone gets it, dude. Right?
Yeah, this
Hallelujah.
is optimistic, right?
I know. Do I dare dream? This is all, and Jack kept saying, this is all for this year. This year, like, holy smokes! This feels like a 5-year program.
No, anybody that's sat around the little bar area with me at Valhalla over the last few years knows good and well this is exactly how I would roll out a game. Like,
yes, it's so beautiful. 100%. Oh my god.
Is that all? It wouldn't be a keynote with at least one awesome thing, would it? What have we got, Jay? Let's have a look. Oh, it's more trolls.
Okay.
Russ is just a little bit of interesting trivia. Russ is our lead sculptor, and he absolutely loves sculpting trolls. So ahead of schedule, he should be working on other stuff, Russ. He's already started working on these guys. So right now, I get to art direct on the sculpts that are coming through for the Kithgard, and trust me, they are absolutely sweet.
Oh my god. What is that orgasm?
I'm not going to say anything about this. Any questions? That's it, guys. Thanks ever so much for coming. We know it's a late night. Really appreciate it.
Oh, no.
That's a teaser.
Holy cow. Oh my god. I have so many feels right now. Okay,
so it
what's
is interesting watching how they're rolling. Well, the biggest is obviously the printed cards.
I was wondering if that would be what you're saying. I mean,
no, there's
being back is huge.
Well, that's huge. Also, I really do think that in today's age, like the business model of having at least a few printable starter sets is, I think, a big deal.
Yeah, the 3D printed starter sets, the terrain that you can subscribe on My Mini Factory or Titanforge, I think was the other one. Their app, like getting those as 3D prints. They don't have to worry about selling terrain specifically. You can just print it. That's awesome. They, again, can control the design of that. Oh, man. The old Umbre models looked really cool. Really like those. So pretty.
Like all the little bears.
Mandragora. Oh, okay, I'm gonna get hatred. No hate in this chat, thank you. I'm gonna get hatred deservedly, but Trollblades felt like the faction with the least going story-wise. Wish it had been another in that place. Are you talking about where the lore is right now with the Orgoth invading and the Kithgard being activated? Are you talking about that part? Trollblades blow stuff up. Drink beer. I mean, they have a history. I mean, the idea of the actual trolls of the mountain being completely wild beasts versus, the troll kin who are more sentient and kind of act as a bit of the closest we have to a real bridge between the Iron Kingdom civilization and the wilds of the world of Cain. Like, they are actually a really interesting faction, I think, just because they are the most civilized of the wild factions. I think that's fair to say.
I wonder a little bit about. So I think that they just didn't tell us much of the story, because I do wonder. It's like, oh well, we have these alliances and stuff, but oh no, the Trollbloods are there, or the Kithgard are there, and it's just like, okay, why though? And he didn't really go into it at all. So I don't know. There might be a lot of interesting lore going on that explains why they're there specifically as opposed to any other faction, and why they're kind of, causing a little bit of a rift. Even though, what is it, Signar, Khador, all that are trying to stave off the Orgoth, why would the Trollbloods not be helpful in that? And I feel like they have their reasons, and there's probably some interesting lore in that. If Doug Seacat's involved at all with some of the reasoning and the story behind it, I do feel like there's,
if that's true,
until I discover otherwise.
I will cry tears of joy.
Yeah.
Menoth was teased during the non-recorded Q&A.
I hope they come back as dino riders, where they discovered dinosaurs in zoo, and now they just ride dinosaurs around. That's what I hope.
It'd be really fun.
I grew up with dino riders, all right? Like, they were very popular.
To me, Trollbloods are the most original faction out of all of them. I guess printed stuff for those without flow talent. I didn't see anything new that cannot already be done. So I don't buy all plastic models. Yeah, I mean, and that's just going to be like your taste, right? But they've gone, what? Dinosaurs were shut down 100. They're definitely going to bring dinosaurs.
I mean, I feel like they've made a lot of smart decisions so far.
Yeah.
I feel like they'll eventually come around to realizing dinosaurs are the correct answer.
We never explored the other side of the ocean, like going to zoo.
Not even the other side of the ocean.
Kingdoms, huh?
like I don't even think you had to cross a whole ocean to get to Zoo. I think there was even a land bridge.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know about land bridge, but yeah, maybe.
It was a very short distance to get down there.
Fair enough. Oh man, that was so good. Man, I hope. Well, okay, so a couple of things that don't have to be this year at all, but I would love to see in the future would be, Menoth coming back, Anston Durst, I think, who fled with everybody at first. I think he was the one who went off to Zoo, coming back and having incorporated in, like, presumably the local peoples there into Menoth, which would be what they would do.
Yeah, there'd be missionaries, of course, and I mean, so the stuff with Zoo is, I mean, that's the lore that was still going on before everything went crazy. Like, as far as I'm concerned, Zoo is still very, very official lore.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's something where, they did hint a lot of that stuff and then just ignored it. And it's like, I don't want them to ignore it. I actually want them to bring it in. What is it? The Totem Hunter army? I'm fine with Predator. That. I will play a Totem Hunter army if that's the case.
I'd hope for a Paladin army. I'd love a Paladin army. I'd love for them to take the lore serious again. I like for the models to take more of a serious turn. I'd love to see the return of No Quarter magazine at some point.
That would be
beautiful.
Really good.
Yeah, I mean, dare to hope, right? But all of these from this year are just absolutely incredible. Let's see. What's the over-under you think Warmachine is going to be beating GW on price? Well, I don't know that model for model. I mean, they should, just because GW is the only one who gets away with charging GW prices, to be fair. So they should come in under that. But I think the big sell for them is going to be, hey, look at our overall value. These miniatures, yeah, you spend $70 for this box set, but look, you get the app for free. You get all the rules for free. You get, access to all of this stuff that we're not charging you an arm and a leg for.
Well, I guess it kind of starts off a little bit as what's your starting price, right? Because the over-under starts off at infinite in that you just download them. They actually do give out some models for literally free, which GW, as far as I can tell, has never done. But but I know when they were 3D printing them, they were a little pricey. But if they're doing the injection molded approach, then I think they can get very competitive and definitely be a lot cheaper than GW prices.
So I know you mentioned the tariffs, JP, but I'm pretty sure GW stuff is all manufactured in England as well. Like, as far as the miniatures go, I know the books aren't, but that'll just depend. God, the idea of getting the cars printed through that Forge Fire Connect, really smart.
Yeah.
Totem
Hunter, like that.
Totem Hunter is a current Mark IV.
No, nice. Totem Huntress.
Huntress. Oh, my bad.
So that's a second one, because there's the Totem Hunter, and I guess there's a Totem Huntress. So that's cool.
I'm scared of a future where GW becomes Britain exclusive and Warmachine takes over the US. I mean, the US would just reinvade England to get GW back, probably. Like, let's be real. Like, the most
reinvade England.
Competitive place.
Did we invade England?
No, we never. I mean, in my head, we would just be like, how do you like it, England, when we do it?
Well, I mean, it would involve tricorn hats and everything else still, right? Since it is Warmachine. Just like the first time when England and like, what is it, when we rebelled against England?
Ungrateful guns. Hey man, that's what happens when you came to try to take our guns. Anyway, no, these are such brilliant things. Oh my god, I'm so happy. Okay, so I guess, yeah, I'd be super into old Umbre. I already have the Winter Core box set, and then there's the Shadows and Scum box set. Oh god, I don't know. I'm gonna have to chat with my buddy Erica over at oh my god, my brain's melting. Over at the Warmachine channel. Tried and true.
Thank you. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm blinking too.
Gotta need us. I know. The Boston Tea Party with GW crates instead of tea. Love it. I love it. Anyway, yes, this is all very exciting. Now, what does that mean for the future and my channel and all of that? Oh, big fat, I don't know, because there's a lot going on right now. But it is really hopeful. I really, really, really hope that this is successful for Steamforged games because it seems like they're making all of the smart decisions finally. Like, all it took was, 15 years.
New management.
A whole new company getting a hold of it is apparently what it
whole
took.
ass other company.
Yeah.
SFG's current printing resin mix is pretty high quality, and I have a print shop, and I don't mind paying for the latest releases on quality basis. They're honestly great. All right, well, yeah, and people were mentioning in the chat earlier that Steamforged Games has actually been around a while. We just said new company and not new acquisition. You're right, not a new company, but so a company that has experience in models taking over this as a new IP. I hope SFG are successful too. I'm even going to buy new models for the first time in a while. Was it because of this keynote, Michael? Warmachine is a game that actually beat GW before. It'll be interesting to see if it does again. So, well, okay. So one of the things that they're being extra smart about is they're not doing what GW does. They're not copying what the big guy does. Why do all the WoW clones die? Because they keep trying to do the thing. So
they keep trying to remake WoW.
They keep trying to remake WoW. They keep trying to do GW things. Like, this is actually a innovative approach. It's smart. They're lending an olive branch to the community as far as like, hey, we understand you use 3D prints. We would hope that you don't just find some alternative 3D printed sculpt for every single one of our models to play that instead. We hope that you'll use ours. But since you do 3D print stuff, here, we have actual models for you to use. Like, that's a lot of goodwill.
No, it was interesting because even back in the day, and even in Mark II and into Mark III days, it's like, even if you showed up with something 3D printed, you would almost have social pressure because everyone else at the table's like, what, you don't want to support Privateer?
Okay,
it was understood. Whereas GW, you'd go and print, and everyone's just like, yeah, I don't blame you. I wouldn't want to pay those prices either. It's just a very different culture between the two. And so even though you could have had alternate models and stuff like that, people rarely did.
Mm-hmm.
People usually were more than happy to support Privateer. And so I hope that goodwill stretches over and people are more than happy to support Steamforged games, because they seem like an earnest company with some good, solid, a good solid attempt at a release.
Okay, and Chronic Toast is actually interested in this release as well. Like, so I missed the boat with Mark 1. I'm not going to miss this boat. Okay, well, I'll have to bring some stuff to Valhalla then. We're going to have to try this out. Let's see. The price is still not great for 3D prints, in my opinion, but the other things are good, but the miniature designs are not there. So it depends. Like, it's a little bit variant. One of the issues I've had with the new sculpt miniature designs is they all feel so chunky, and it feels like all of the detail is like too present, if that makes sense. It makes the model look very busy. Everything has this sort of toon feel to it. Yeah. But that old Umbre army doesn't. Like, that looks good. And
he had
the Gravediggers look really good.
Well, he had mentioned on the video that he liked a more serious look, that they actually had been too cartoony. Like, that was actually said.
Yeah, which I agree with 100%. Like, they really leaned into that with Riot Quest, I think, and they just pushed it more. And it's like, Riot Quest is fine. That's fine. But it's like, it really kind of should be a separate game, in my opinion. And have the Iron Kingdoms be more of a serious world. It again is still like the best take on steampunk I ever felt like was done.
Well, Iron Kingdoms is a serious world with levity. Do you know what I mean? But at its core, it is a serious idea, serious theme. It's not just a jokey sort of backdrop or setting.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Bane Thralls, I guess, aren't there yet, but I feel like we'll be getting a lot of those things back. I could definitely see in the long term them reintroducing stuff that were old fan favorites. Like, I don't know if Doom Reavers are currently in the game right now, if that's all legacy or not. Original Menoth minis are serious. Original Menoth, gorgeous models, absolutely gorgeous models. Why can't I click on this? There you go.
Oh, I'd actually brought one up, is why. I think we did it at the same time.
Nah.
But
the detail creep is regrettably a thing for many games nowadays. I think it's the effect of digital sculpting. 100%. Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what it is. It's also why everything's like inflated. Like everything's bigger.
And I think that on the one hand, they're like, oh, loads of detail. Look how much detail. And it's like, I guess at the same time, oh my God, it's such a pain to paint that stuff. You know what I mean? You're like, I got to paint an army, and you look and there's a bajillion little belt buckles and pockets and doodads and a bunch of crazy crap all over them. And you're just like, I will never get this army painted.
Okay. I need to pull up the beautiful pictures that people posted today on the thing, but I don't know, that keynote, holy cow, that genuinely blew me away. Thank you, by the way, for remastering the sound to make that way more audible. But.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I thought it'd be a little more, bearable for people to listen to.
Exactly. But wow, what exciting stuff that they have going on. Oh my God. Are any of the people in the chat going to try to become a press ganger? I know some people were saying that they would if they weren't already doing something else, but are you? I should have made more polls, but
there you go. Andrew Fairbank. Too much flair. This isn't tchotchkes. They have too many pieces of flair. They really want to express themselves.
It is a problem. I think it's like a type of inflation, right? Of just detailflation. I don't know what you call it.
Oh, greeblyflation.
Greeblyflation. Okay. I don't hate that. It's pretty good. All right. I'm just grabbing images from anywhere I can think of. Michael. Ooh, that looks good. But yeah, amazing keynote. So SFGs actually looks like they know what they're doing. And oh my God,
there we go. We're getting some comments from people who have good taste in movies.
Ooh, someone got a copy or a picture of their dice. They got the Dice Bear and Khador dice. Oh, those look good. All right. Almost there.
She's grabbing pictures.
Yeah, sorry. I would have been doing it as while chatting, but I was mesmerized.
She's busy being enthralled by the keynote speech. No, so much of this really does line up with stuff that I know we've been talking about for a couple of years now.
Literally years.
Yeah. Like everything we're like, well, this obviously is what you should do. No one's doing it. Why isn't anyone doing it? And then this company hauls off and does all the things. And
it turns out that there was actually no reason not to be able to do it. All right, we're going to start with Dexter here. This is the first image to come up. He is working on a building.
I like the brickwork
pieces.
So is this an RPG piece? Because it looks like you're adding an interior as well. Which I love those bricks, by the way. Those look fantastic.
Yeah, no, the bricks look really good. The outer wall actually looks pretty good too with that plaster coating.
So how are you doing the bricks? Are you just pushing in the line work, or are you actually cutting them up and putting them in a bottle and shaking them around with rocks to get the texture and then putting them in one at a time? Because it kind of looks like you're putting them in one at a time.
Definitely here on the left, it looks like that. That looks really beautiful. I think he had one more. Yeah, some more interior stuff.
Well, those are looking cool.
That looks great, dude. Yeah, it looks like individual discs. I agree with the NBSK.
Yeah,
this is Jerry's model. Beautifully done. Good. Oh, the flag. The Laley's flag.
Yeah, a
Vanguard?
Yes, Vanguard.
Yeah.
I was blanking on it. Normally he's got the little pole arm.
Good detail with the barbed wire around his hand.
No, it looks cool.
Cool. Beautifully done. All metal too. JP, Mr. Got Rockets here, coming in with a knight that does make me think of Monty Python, but
I was going to say Monty Python.
It's the great helm.
It must be, yeah. Like I'm just forever.
It's like the Black Knight I was wearing.
Michael's model here, looking also really good. I like the minimalism of it, actually. Although I'm a big fan of basing a model. Maybe it's not done yet, but it looks really good. Like good job on the facial details. Not easy to do. Michael's Cephalix army. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to just print the Cephalix. I have an old Cephalix army, but it's in pieces, and I don't know that I want to keep it. Okay, so here's the Baron of Dice Khador dice that Michael was able to get a hold of. No, it's a rover. Oh, my bad. Okay.
Now, I assume a rover, I mean, that's one of the newer ones, though. That's still built on the Vanguard chassis.
Looks like that's the case. Okay, you said that's the new one. Look at the two different
Wait, go back.
To the model. This one?
No, you skipped over it. It's the Cephalix.
Oh, all the Cephalix.
There you go. I think you said that's the printed one.
Oh.
Is that what I'm getting? Because Katie said that's the new.
Oh yeah, I meant
one.
the Cephalix. Okay. Yeah, looks good.
Nice. And those base toppers, are those part of the 3D printable stuff that they have too? I know they were talking about having printable toppers.
I did see some photos of that, yeah. Or a photo of that. And then Paul's beautiful shoot.
Oh, I like the wings.
No, the wings look so good. It's his Parasite of Mortrex. Obviously, I guess. Yeah, look at that wing detail. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thomas and his spells.
I like physical spells in a game where you can set them down.
I think that was a brilliant idea. When I learned that was a thing in AOS, I was like, oh, that's really cool. I'm going to try that. Then I never got around to it, but still, it is a cool idea.
I guess Warmachine kind of had it because you could summon walls and like wall of fire or ring of stuff. You know, they did sort of have it in there, but just not that many spells.
The knight is actually a cleric, according to JP. I painted him as an anti-cleric, and he's sort of a medieval Darth Vader. Notice the cardinal's mitre at the top of his helmet.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
Ah.
All right, where were we? Spells. Oh, that was the last of it. That is all of it. Burning Earth, Storm Cloud, Dust Devil, and Acid Bath. Beautifully done. And they seem solid enough. The clouds is probably the most likely to break, at least in my hands, but good job. Good job, everybody. Thank you for sharing your painting and your hobby progress with me. I super appreciate you guys. Well, we've definitely gone over on time. Thank you again for sticking with me during the keynote speak. I don't even know the part I'm most excited about. There were so many good things, but printed rulebook, press gangers coming back, the Army of Umbre, the lore being picked back up. Again, Doug Seacat being back possibly would be my number one if that is true, because holy smokes. Oh my God. So yeah, thank you to everybody who told me I needed to watch this already. And yeah, you're right. I'm gonna have to start seeing what I want to do with my hobby time now. Oh my God.
Yeah. All right. Well, it looks like it's getting late.
Yeah, it's quite late, and we still have a ton of preparation to do before we leave tomorrow. So yes, Chronicles, we will see you at Valhalla, and we'll be hanging out in the chat for a few minutes during the end video. So feel free to keep asking questions, and thank you all so much. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Barry, cover me.
Copy that. No more sandwiches, Barry. What's wrong with this place? I'm in the west corridor. I'm right outside the generator room. I'm out of bullets.